All right, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's
Happy
weird.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I had to look at I was like, wait, it's Thursday. But it is
I know,
Wednesday.
it feels like Thursday though.
Definitely does. Today we're doing something different here. I have headphones on. There's a plant behind me. And that's what's up. So see how it's kind of weird talking through here because it's like I can't hear myself. But that's my normal life anyways.
Tony's in Hawaii. Just kidding.
I
It's a palm. It looks like a palm tree kind of.
I did go to Hawaii. No. Today we've had it's late. I know our public has been waiting very patiently, but we had a awesome Network by 9. Networking by 9 or Network by 9 is a chamber of commerce where they put you in a awkward situation with other awkward situation people, and they let you talk about awkward situations, and then it makes you better, and hopefully you can come back with a lead or a friend,
A connection.
a connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went really well. We have some cards, and I have some website roasts going out with some suggestions and optimization. So hopefully it's accepted and taken well.
Yeah, it was at this, what is it called? Loft 433 in Troy. And it was really nice. It's a nice venue for like weddings, but it was rooftop. Beautiful view of Troy, probably the best view in the city, I would say.
Yeah.
Or they would say. I'm just repeating what they said.
We own the place now.
The best view in Troy.
Yeah, look.
Yep, that was
Pretty
on top of the
fancy.
rooftop.
I look really happy in that picture. I'm like, so yeah, it went really well, and here we are back. That's why we're a little late. It's in the afternoon. We'll see how this one goes. I wish I could hear you though. I wish I could hear myself. Today we're going to talk about custom web design, which came up at the Network by 9. So when you say custom web design or custom web development, or even the word custom, I think we've had this conversation before, it might leave a bad taste, or someone else has left a bad taste in someone's mouth about custom web design, and we're here to squash the misconceptions and fallacies and myths and legends around it. So do you want to just get started with this, or you want to talk about international days today? You do have a national day.
Well, it is International Lottery Day, so if you have a lucky number out there, now's the time that hopefully the lottery gods will bless your hand. We'll have to do ours later.
Yes. My number is 108. Play it. You might be lucky.
Yeah, I know.
And if you do win, I deserve at least 5%. Yeah, so National Lotto Day is today. When I was growing up, we used to play the lotto every day, and I know it's popular in your family too. We used to get the numbers. My grandmother used to play 108, front and back, boxed, 492, 438. These are death numbers, like grave numbers of her grandparents. 711. I forget the others. Isn't there one that your dad plays all the time besides birthdays?
There's a lot. I can't keep track of which ones are which. But yeah, he does have. Yeah, he does win a lot, but he also plays a lot. So
yeah, he wins. Yeah, the other day I said, "How does he win so much?" And I know it's the luck of the draw because you play more. Not even the luck of the draw, but the opposite of that. It's kind of like the more you put in, the more you win. So that's a good slogan. That's what their slogan should be. That the more you put in, the more you can win. Love the lottery.
Yeah, that's very true. That's in the
Yeah.
probability of it all.
Contact me for slogans. So yeah, today we're talking about custom web design and the misconceptions, fallacies, falsehoods on what it is. And I feel like we talk about what custom web design is, and it can get complicated quickly. But the 10,000 foot overview is that there might have been in the past a way of doing websites that is not accepted anymore. It's not the best way to do it. And that way would be to hard code things into a website. So things that when you're a website manager or an admin or even just another developer, when you come in, you have to find where that code is hidden. Depending on the developer, they might have put it somewhere crazy. It could be in a file, it could be in a database, it could be a script that's included somewhere. So the main thing that we want to talk about today is that when we talk about custom web design, custom web development, and custom code, there's never, unless it is warranted and there's a code that we have to integrate with the website, there's never otherwise places that you have to go find the code if we deliver a website to you, or have to learn how to code or do anything in HTML. Everything is non-hard coded. So when we say custom, we don't mean we're custom coding stuff in the back end so you can't see it and you have to contact us in the future. It's great job security, sure, but complaints, like, why would we ever do that? It's not nice.
Hmm.
So take a breath here. I get worked up. So I mean, just an overview of our process. When we do WordPress websites, we do them with you in mind, with the client in mind, and it does make it easier. So if I build a page and I develop the page and I have to replicate it multiple times, there's the manual work of me doing that. So why would I ever want to make it more complicated for me? So I'm a very efficient person, and I do believe when I do hand over a project to a person, they're usually surprised, and that always gives me that impression that somebody left the bad taste in their mouth, that they were like, oh, custom, like you don't know what to expect. But when you show them how easy it is, I honestly think I always hear that, like, oh, I didn't know, and that's really cool to hear, because it takes a little bit of extra time. Of course, if I wanted to code something, I'm a fast coder and I can do that. But at the con of having a site that you can't edit as the client, so I don't want to hear that. I've done it before when I was a baby noob coder, and you think this is the best way until the client says, where is this? How do I do this? And then you're like, oh, I shouldn't have took that easy route. So that's like the overview of custom web design and what it is and what it's not. So
Yeah, and when we say we provide customized service, what we mean is customized to your business. So we're going to learn more about what your business is and find ways to design the website to make it match and align. So the difference between customized and not customized is really in the form of what we're thinking is like anybody can go out there and get a website that's a template, but also a lot of other people can, like, I'll say a dentist site. So there's a lot of dentist templates out there. Any dentist in the area can boot up a site with the same template. So that is different than a custom like having a custom design. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about having a custom design. Your website is not going to be like all the other dentist sites that went with that template. We're going to look at your business, find out what your goals are, find out your unique story, and find out creative ways to incorporate that throughout the site. So that's from a web designer's point of view, we've only been developing sites that are custom because to us it's the most creative way to go about it to match their business goals. And nobody wants to look like everyone else in a very competitive world here. Why would you want to have the same look as your competitor? You want to stand out. You want to have your own values and your own story show through your site, not just have a template boot up.
Yeah, and on the other end of it is Google and SEO, where Google knows that this site is a exact replica HTML syntax wise of another site. So it knows that it's not unique and you get pinged for that. How hard? I don't know. I honestly feel like when we deal with template sites that are obviously templates and you can see it and it says like built by amazing templates, those sites always have the worst SEO. And I'm assuming there's a direct correlation
Yeah, and to
between
speak on
those.
the templates a little bit more, a lot of these templates, they are take a real big hit on page performance. And then there might be a lot of things that you don't that don't apply to your practice. So it's like, why sign up for everything when you only need a certain piece of it? That's why we ask anyone, hey, what sites do you like? What functionality do you need? What do you like about this site versus this site? And we can create a customized solution. So that's where the word custom really comes into play there, because it is custom. If you're taking a piece of this, a piece of that, and creating its own thing and then adding your brand on it, we are customizing it specifically for you. I mean, who wouldn't want to be like, it's almost like clothes. Like, we can go out there and buy clothes, or you can get them tailored to fit your body. Like, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, yeah. If
I
you,
could
yeah,
use that for
especially,
jeans for sure, because I'm tall and I can never find jeans that fit me.
yeah, on the other end of the spectrum, I am short and I can find jeans that fit me as well. But
So
yeah, you're
you're
right. It's almost like that saying, "Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free?" Like, why? I know that means something else, but it's like, why do you have
yeah,
that
I'm like,
whole,
wait.
the whole
I'm
template
like, does that really?
when you don't need the whole? We have all these
Yeah,
animal
I
analogies. We have
see.
the lipstick on a pig and stuff. But yeah, like why get that whole
Tail.
thing? And they get pinged, no doubt about it. And it looks the same, and it looks generic and typical. Obviously, there's some out there, and the more expensive they are, you can go on Theme Forest and other template sites that are really good. There's good quality ones, of course, but by the time you or a developer sometimes has to work around to try to get it to look the way you really want it, and then on top of that you still have all that bulk, and it's not really even worth it, that $60 purchase versus a, you know, whatever you're charged for smaller or custom sites.
Yeah,
So
and just to go like a little bit of a flashback in time, when Tony and I worked at a marketing agency, that's where we kind of started, where their solutions were mostly picking out themes from Theme Forest and really applying that to the brand. And so we saw that piece of it and we're like, this isn't the best way to do it. And a lot of agencies do it just to streamline things. I think they think
yeah,
it's faster, but it isn't. If you really know code and understand the entire factors that go into having a successful website, it does more harm than good. So we've learned that in the past, and a lot of the things that we've taken away for our own business is these are the best practices. These are what best will have the best results, and that's why we've gone to just fully. We meet with the client, we discover what their goals are, and then we create a solution based off that, not just buying a theme.
shucks. That would be, I remember that back in the day. He would, no names, he would take it, they would take screenshots of a theme and, or even just a live view of the theme. And then in the inspector, which is clever enough, you'd replace the text and the logos and stuff like that. So, but it's called designing in a vacuum, where you take a theme, you take a visual, and then you try to fill in the content of the client or whatever into this where it doesn't belong, you know. So we like to go the other way. We like to look at the organization and place things and put things and fit things, or remove things and add things where they belong, not where can I stuff this header text, where what can I put into this blob of, you know, blurb. So yeah, those are all great points, Arena. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, it's good to understand like where we came from and understand why we work the way we do now, because we kind of learned from past experiences and to
Hmm.
know what really works for a client and where we are today, where Google is today, and what we're, you know, is going to provide the best results in the long run, because that's really what it's about.
Yeah, we've taken the bad and the good from we know what has not worked at agencies and what has worked. And there's some coders that I've worked with and even just people that are involved in projects that I've really admired the way they do stuff and it stuck with me forever. Todd. Todd was the best coder. I don't know where he is now. So I took a lot from
Um,
Todd.
so Tony spoke a little bit about this, but just to give an intro, hard coded versus manageable custom code. So there is a difference, and we do want to kind of go over those differences and also talk about some of the benefits of having custom code specifically related to plugins like advanced custom fields. And Tony's gonna go into that.
Yeah. I guess the difference between hard coded and manageable custom code would be obviously hard coded means there's code in the system that you can't access, but the manageable custom code part is probably the more important part. So, my main point would be that you can't do a site without any code. You know, you can, I guess, right? But the benefit of having. Hmm?
Remember that platform Webflow or something?
Oh,
You
yeah.
were like build a whole site without knowing code, but it was just so complicated because you would have
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
go through it all.
toggles within toggles, which is like whatever. And they have their own. If you want to be a MacGyver and fill out and figure out your own site and really have control over it, there are tools out there. They're called no code tools, but the part that you pay for is the speed and all that. I will never step down from that. Um, what's that called? My high pedestal on that because the only way that you can get all those features is having just this gigantic amount of code, and it goes back to the SEO thing. If you're using one of these systems, yeah, you have access over the SEO, but it's still the same like framework pretty much. So yes, no code. So my point would be that we, of course, write code, and I write Sass code, and Sass lets me style things and make unique things happen, whether it be transitions or animations or on mobile things flow in a certain way. That makes it easier for me. We never we try our best to not have any situations where you're not able to do something that I'm not able to do. I'll do something and it'll make it easier for me, of course. Maybe like create a short code that's going to show your menu options or a recent blog post. We try not to use plugins when possible, unless the client wants a lot more control. And then we can say, okay, well, here are the cons and here are the pros, and we can still give it to you, but we want to let you know that situation might exist that you're adding these plugins that do the same thing that a developer could do. So when you compare those two things, hard coded, that's going to be system code that is inside of files or inside of a database, like I said before, or hidden somewhere. And manageable code would be me writing code or anybody that's involved in this type of development, and then creating, if you need be, an option screen that maybe sets variables or titles, things that manage the code itself. So with our websites, there's never a disconnect between this custom code and yourself, which happens with the hard code. There's a disconnect. You have to connect via FTP. Like, who wants to do that if you're not into FTP? SSH, go into the admin. It could be a dangerous thing. You erase one thing and the whole site's gone. So that's the difference, and it's a big difference too. And I wish we could say it right up front, be like, we create custom websites, and then scream, not hard coded. It's totally different.
Yeah, yeah, because it is something that definitely pulls a red flag to some people. Like, we don't want anything hard coded, like because of the bad experience that they might have had in the past.
Yeah, didn't you
Uh,
just have a client talk about that their last developer or something a month ago?
yeah, there's always some situation I feel like that when we're talking to a new client or they're moving in a new direction and want better service, and they most of their pain points is I don't know what happened to this, and I can't the most recent one, this is a good one, which was so odd, but the site, it was a WordPress site, and she could not see the admin menu bar. So when you go and you logged in, usually you can go on a page and go edit page and it'll take you to the page. That was not showing, and that's not a normal thing. So you know that there's something that is causing it to be hidden. So
Yeah. And it was custom CSS that was saying display none important, and it was hidden somewhere. So it wasn't even a setting on something that says show hide admin bar, which is usual in some themes. They'll do that. I think Divi has that in Elementor, but it was hidden, and it had an important symbol, so it was hard to override. So that had to be found and fixed. So that's the type of hard code we're talking about. That's the most simplest explanation, but it's annoying if you don't know what you're doing in terms of code, but you go on your site and you can't edit it. So.
sorry, I was choking.
Oh my god, I wasn't looking.
I was
No.
muting myself.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I wasn't really choking, like nothing was stuck in my throat, but I had that like dry cough.
Oh man. All right, I'll let you drink your water, recover.
Next time I'll have to be like, help.
I know. I'm not even on the screen. I wasn't looking at us.
Oh no.
I know. I'd have been like, Raina, where are you?
The viewers would have had to help.
They had to call
somehow.
911. All 9 of them.
I'd have been like,
are you gonna talk,
no.
Raina? Are you gonna talk? One thing oh yeah, I can't hear you. All right, one thing I wanted to say is, on the contrary, is that we can do hard-coded stuff, not to annoy you and go into your site and make things hard to find, but actually write hard-coded HTML, CSS, JavaScript that makes a beautiful page, whether it be a landing page, Marketo page, email templates, anything else that requires this type of low-level, lightweight HTML design content, things that you're not going to edit per se, things that if you feel comfortable with HTML and you want to edit it that way, we can hard code stuff. I enjoy hard coding stuff. I wish that I could hard code everything, honestly, and it would make my life a lot easier. I know. It's the opposite, but it's true. So if the case ever arises that this, and it is a thing, like things like Next.js, and there's other frameworks that are really low level, you got to know how to code to make a site, So these things are on our radar. We do use them, and we are comfortable with actually writing code. So it's just something that I would like to throw out there, because when I say like we don't hard code, I also want to give the impression that we don't like code. I love code. I wish that everything was code. I wish there was no UIs, but it makes it a lot easier when we hand it to the client to give them this beautiful thing that they can manage themselves. So that's why we choose WordPress. That's why we choose not to do hard coded. That's why we choose to do manageable custom code, provides flexibility, adaptability, and all that.
Yeah, and just to speak on the hard coded piece of it, it comes in handy if, let's say, you have a team of people and you don't want anybody changing anything with the website, and there's really a clear understanding of, okay, I want no one to have access to customize anything that will impact their brand, anything that will change the style of our site, and they'll be able to go in there and just do their job, whatever that is. Oh, I just want to update this one page. I can't touch anything or customize it. Those do come in handy in certain situations. So there is a need sometimes for hard coding, and Tony can do that.
I can do that, and it's way more efficient because you're only dealing with the elements and whatever you're dealing with, scripts, elements that you need, and you don't need to deal with the CMS. I mean, that goes against our practice and our purposes of all these live streams and what Three Tone Digital does. But yeah, when it comes down to it, you don't need a database. You don't need you don't even need hosting half of the time, really. You can get things up and running and beautiful and mobile responsive with very, very little, without
Pure
anything
code.
pure code. That's all that it really is. When you look at a WordPress site on the browser and you view the source, it's just HTML code and other stuff.
But once again, that's very rare,
Yeah, it is rare.
Something we can do. Most of our clients aren't needing that type of service, but just to know that is possible and it can be done.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap that whole section up, if you are thinking of going with Three Tone Digital, we appreciate it, and we promise you that there will be no weird instances
Unless you
where you
want
don't
it.
know. Unless you want to go that route, there should be no weird instances of things that you can't find, manage, or if there really is something that you can't access, you can always contact us. We'll never charge for something that's like, hey, that's our fault. We should have had this, or especially if it was talked about beforehand. So just know
Mhm.
that we we love code, but we don't expect you to love code. We love code, so you don't have to. Three-tone-digital.com. Yeah, so
Exactly.
I think that's all about that. That's the word on the street.
That is the
Well,
word today, July 17th.
still using the same Dunkin' Donuts cup since the beginning of the live stream. So I think we're on like number 40.
I don't think that's good. I think there might be
I
germs and stuff in that.
I do wash it out,
Yeah, but so
kinda.
we'll get you a new one this weekend. That would be the goal.
A new yeah, Dunkin' Donuts cup. Maybe I'll get iced
Yeah,
coffee. Cause we're going to Connecticut.
we are.
No.
Yeah, we have a little family trip. We're gonna have a nice little adventure. We're going to Connecticut, my homeland where I was born. So we're gonna go visit some family, have some
Did they
pizza
have a
parties,
do they do a
visit
hand
some new
symbol?
babies. What?
Do they have a hand symbol for Connecticut people? Like do they do C or anything?
No. Mm-mm.
Rhode Islanders do the R.
I've never seen that.
Just kidding. We don't do that. That'd be
I'm
crazy.
like, I feel like I've lived in Rhode Island longer than Connecticut, so I would have definitely seen that. People walking around posting up R's. It's
Yeah,
so weird.
they should. They should do that. All right, let's. I'm excited to see how this sounds.
Yeah,
To
we've been having sorry if you guys listened to it yesterday and even the day before. We've been having like some microphone issues, so now we're testing a couple things out. Anytime everyone knows like if you're on live, like figuring out the audio situation and having a good mic really does matter. So now Tony has a microphone. I mean, headphones. I got a new microphone, which is really cool. Let me show you. It's kind of fancy. I got it at Target. Shout out to Target.
to Yeti.
It was the last one left too. So yep.
And
Hopefully it doesn't.
I do not have a microphone. I have my MacBook microphone on. So hopefully that sounds all right too. I have the
Yeah.
headphones on. We're trying to be like real. We're like leveling up a couple times. Like, wait, let me
Oh.
do this. That was a crazy noise. I hit something over there.
Oh
This would
my
be
god, it's so loud.
my pretend mic. That's not a mic though. All right. Anything else? Want to do a final word?
Yeah, I'll do my
right.
final word. Whatever comes to mind.
Okay, let me put some background music on. Ooh,
That's a little intense.
lower that,
a little
yeah.
bit too hype for my final word. All final words need to be a little
All right.
bit like zen.
Hold on. Let me put some other on. Okay.
All right. So today's final word is whenever given the opportunity, you should really figure out how to make your brand uniquely you. And that's where having a customized look and brand really helps in creating the best experience for your audience and also to tell more about who you are. So think about that when you're thinking about branding and your website. Does your website really align with your tone, your brand's tone? And we're at a really unique time right now, speaking about tone and tone of the world. And I think your voice matters, and being able to take a minute, evaluate your site and see, okay, is this a tone that I'm looking for to reach my audience, and if not, then you take some time and invest in your own website and make sure that it aligns. So make sure to set your tone appropriately. Oh, you're muted.
Let me start again.
Yeah, start
She's
again.
right. There is a whole tone thing going on in the world right now that is important to show your tone and what you're giving off on your website. So she's completely right in her final statement, final word.
And as three-tone digital, we feel like it is so important to set your brand's tone.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're all about. Three-tone digital. Word on the street. We'll see you tomorrow. Thursday morning. We're gonna wait till later. We might wait till later. How about that?
No, that's still up
We'll
in
do
the
it
air.
at like a new place.
A new scene.
Yeah, it's almost like we're having a vacation. Our live streams now go into vacation mode for the next 4 days. So we'll see you on the road, taking it on the road. All right, let me play our outro, and thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.